Welcome, everybody, to this pop up live where we're going to be talking about a topic that Ryan and I feel really close to, and that is choosing a mentor. And for some of you, it might be like, well, choosing a mentor is super easy, but we're here to show you there's a lot of myths based on experiences and just things that we've seen. We're not here to say that we're better than anybody, but we do want to help you make a wise choice in who you decide to work with. So, as some of you know who I am, my name is Sri, and I'm a video marketing producer and helping you to get on camera, do live shows like this, videos that speak to your ideal client and that make you money is what I love to do. And so today I have with me Ryan, and I'm actually going to allow him to do his own introduction because he's been on here before and he can do his own.
Thank you. I'm a big boy now. No, thank you for bringing me back on, Shri. Well, hello, everyone. Whoever's watching me last time, good to see you again. And hello to everyone else that's brand new. In a nutshell, I'm a guy that walks in forests every single day in the countryside. I am an expert in sales. I work remotely, live in the countryside, and I work with some of the biggest info gurus in the marketplace. I build their sales teams, or should I say we build their sales teams. We consult with them on the brand, their positioning, how to get more leads, how to ultimately close more deals, make more money, make a bigger impact, and all through authentic selling. So no bait and switch, no outdated methods that destroy your brand after a few months or a few years. Something where you can wake up every day and not stress about how you're going to build your business and market it, but just speak your truth and make some money and help some people. That's what I do most of the day.
And you know what? You do a great job. So let's get into this. I was talking to Ryan and I was telling him about Dan Pena. He's this billionaire and he has programs where you can go in and he works with you, helps you to work on your mindset because this is something that a lot of us entrepreneurs, we put it to the side, or we are the type of person like myself who spend a lot of the beginning of our journey really understanding why do we think this way, the relationship. So I started asking Ryan about Dan Pena, and the first thing he said was, I don't like him. So then it got me intrigued. So now I'm thinking, why does Ryan not like Dan?
Oh, it's not I don't like Dan, but I don't like how the marketing's done to how it makes people believe they need him when they don't always need him. Now, to the right people, he's created phenomenal results for. But everyone online seems to be like a lost little lamb, where the next market with the next shiny object, everyone runs towards sprinting with their credit card out, going, take my money. Hey, Denise, take my money. And people don't do their due diligence. Just because, the problem with the online space, and, Dan's one of them, I have nothing against him. He's just one of those guys that's got notoriety, is that everyone makes these unsubstantiated claims. Cole, what's up, man? And these unsubstantiated claims, no one ever validates them. Tomorrow I can go, I've done £1 billion in sales. And if I dress the part and I look the part, how do you know? And so I think that's just one thing why I'm always a bit coy initially to jump into business with anyone in general, but especially someone that's promising the promised land. Because if they've reached it and they're still trying to focus on profiting versus just purely impact, I always just wonder what are the underlying intentions behind it. And a lot of the time with the big gurus, they don't even do the delivery. You're not working with the expert, you're working with one of their coaches, not them. What's up, Gabe?
So I want to say hi to everybody who's joining in. Please join us in the conversation in the comments, whatever platform. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, now Twitter again, and I've added YouTube. Let's just say Shri had to level up on some things. But I wanted to go back to what you said about when somebody says that they have made X amount of dollars. We see it from a lot of people. I made $100,000 in 3 weeks. I
Hmm.
made $1 billion in 25 years. But
Hmm.
you're thinking, how, they're giving out really good information. So this
Hmm.
is where I'm trying to figure out, like, where would you go to find out the truth? Like, for example, right now the journey is not easy as the entrepreneur and where I'm at. There's a lot of mindset that I'm working on, and I'm also understanding what it's like to scale, have a team, the frustrations. My post from yesterday, I openly share. I blamed my creative director for slowing us down, but really he was trying to help me see things differently, and he taught me a lot. So for somebody who's sitting there claiming, hey, I've made six figures in this much time or seven figures, how do you decipher what's real and what's not?
Hmm. I mean, that's the hard thing. It's the most convicted mind wins in every endeavor in this world. I've sold solar systems when I was 19, having never had the money to pay for a solar system or own a house, but I convinced adults to part with their money successfully because I knew my stuff enough and I was convicted. I had more belief and understanding and surety than they did. And sometimes that's all you need, which is why you'll see a lot of gurus come out of the park, promise something and scam people. And literally, there's a guy that I've heard of today that's being investigated by the FBI for scamming $45 million for sales training they didn't deliver. I won't say names, but that stuff happens. Eventually, it all comes back to get you. I think the big question comes back to, though, why do you need a mentor? Is it an idea that you've got, or is it this Facebook ad has made you think that maybe you should have a mentor?
Oh, this is a great question. Let's get from the audience. And we did have Cole who says, but sometimes the info is just enough to get you intrigued, but not how they actually did it.
Correct.
I know a few mentors and people from Clubhouse that I heard, and I was like, is this for real? Are they for real with their business? And I started to get onto their coaching. I started following basically their funnels. How are they taking us from, okay, example, you're on this live. I would love for you to be part of my email list. You know why? Because every week I share things about live streaming, video, podcasting, and it can help you. And if it does, and if you've been on the list for a while, you know what? Write me a review. But let's just say you see Dan Lee or Dan Locke, and they tell you, you know what? Message me on Instagram, follow me and message me the word join. Then they send you a link, and then you go to their webinar. When you find out this webinar was recorded like 3 months ago, this is what you're watching. And
Yep.
then you watch how they present, you watch what they're saying, it makes you believe, okay, I see how they might have made the money that they have. But again, is this person in alignment with me? I want to know from you guys, like, what makes you think that you need a mentor? What makes you believe you need a mentor? And then what is it that drives you to pick that mentor? So we'd love to hear from you. But Ryan, like, for example, Grant Cardone.
Mhm.
I love Grant. Grant has some really good ways to get in your face. You will never forget him. He even does this one thing where he'll send an email or send a text message and says, did you forget about me? Guess what? I have something for you.
Yeah.
And it's like months later, you're like, wow, I told them I didn't want to deal with them, but then they came back. So when I think of Grant, I'm like, okay, he's been down in the dumpsters and now he's lived this life, but is he the mentor for me? So what do you look for?
I mean, I I haven't hired a single guru ever. Personally, I think it's a waste of money. I'm going to say that someone's better than me because they just applied themselves. And only if I do get stuck, then I would hire a consultant. But at that point, I need to first figure out why don't I know, rather than depend upon everyone else. If my life is dictated by when I get stuck, I go, yeah, it's this much money again. Okay, like, I don't want to keep calling people up to ask for help. I'm independent. We're all independent people, and if you keep giving yourself away and stop trusting yourself, you get hooked into every single offer that possibly gets put in your way, and it's designed to speak to you. I mean, it's funny. I picked up this book. Everyone operates from these books. Every guru operates from these books. You know, if you open a page, you will literally see exactly how they script the story. There you go. That is exactly how all these gurus sell to you right now. And the ones that are actually worth their weight in gold sell successfully and long term. The ones who are just selling something short term, they'll keep making money for a point until their marketplace gets bored of them, and then they remarket themselves again with, you know, the magic bullet script, and then they do this. And this stuff's absolutely fine. It's not like it's a bad thing to reveal these things. I think everyone gets this thing wrong where it's like, you can't sell, you have to sell. People need to be sold to, or they have to want to buy, and there's a process of doing it. But it's, what's the intention of the person you're buying from, and what's your intention? You know, having helped in the last year, we produced over $10 million for sales across our clients, selling info products, coaching, consulting. I know it's not a lot on the big scheme of things, but a lot of the people coming on a sales call didn't know why they were here. They just jumping on a damn offer because they read a hook in a script and they went, sign me up. They didn't think about it. They didn't stop and go, okay, where am I in my business? Where do I want to go? Why am I not there myself? What have I tried to do myself? What is the potential bottleneck? And actually try and break it themselves to look at it. They just turn to some next promise, and then it's something else, and then it's something else. Yeah.
You know what? If you're struggling, right? Because we have Cole here who's saying value first and propose additional help.
Yep.
And then Gabe is saying, is the person or the system the secrets that we look to learn from? So for somebody who's, I'm just going to bring it to something that I know, and everybody, you guys can put your business in place of it. Okay, if you want to go live, then you either can watch videos, get on my newsletter, follow Gabe, or you're going to say, you know what, I don't want to go through this time, wasting time. I want to learn now. So it happens that you see that ad or see that post, or you get referred, or maybe you've been on my email list for a while, that you decide, you know what, I'm ready to have Shree's agency help, or I'm ready to have Ryan come into my company and help with sales, because I'm tired of doing the long ways. So to Gabe's question, it comes, okay, the reason why I'm looking for a mentor is because I'm wanting to get to a certain place. And I know that in order to get there, I got to pay to play, or I need to find somebody who's willing to offer it. Alex Harmazi, not too long ago, maybe a week or two ago, gave away his secrets. He's got this whole free course, but there's a catch. He doesn't even want to work with you unless you make $1 million or you're a gym. You're an owner of a gym. So for those people who are trying to give away their knowledge, is that a bad thing?
If you have nothing to validate who you are in this online space, it's a soul destroying thing. If you haven't structured it properly. And, you know, the main thing is that you have to be truthful and have to be honest with who you are and what you're about. It's why long form content's really good. But then everyone's copying the big gurus, trying to do short form and cramming such value, but in a way that doesn't really connect with the right people. And, you know, Alex Hormozi's paved the way to kind of show how it can be done authentically, that he's upfront with his intention. Everyone seems to hide behind the fact I'm here to sell something. Like, they don't want to say that. It's like, oh, I'm only here to help. No, you're not. You're telling me you're going to waste your time as a business owner speaking for free to loads of people with no intention of actually making money. And if that's the case, get out of business and go get a job. I know it's a bit direct, but if you're here to build a business and build a company and have employees and help bring other people into your vision to help them deliver what they want to do in the right culture, be bold and promote. That's what Cardone did back in the day. You know, I used to follow Cardone a lot when I was 18, 19, and it was all about sales back then. You know, If you're not first, you're last. The 10x rule, be obsessed or be average. And his other books, because back then it was really just a big intention of selling sales training. When I bought those books, I knew he was going to probably try sell me. I knew what he was doing. He was unapologetically himself. Where I think the big divide now is people trying to be like a normal person and then try to be a business person, but don't know how to do either properly because they're waiting for a guru to tell them how to be themselves.
Well,
And
there's this other thing though. If I post that I have an agency,
yep,
but I can't seem to, those posts don't do well, right? So you can't sell in every post, but then you can sell in some posts. So it's like, what's the good mix? And then you have Cole who's asking, should you do a done with you or done for you? And that's like a whole different ball game too.
it's simplifying it all back. I mean, again, I'll run on about it. I mean, sorry, my screen's terrible. There's 1,400 followers and there's not a single pitch. I don't even use this to get clients. I don't even use social media or a website. Because before all this stuff happened, business was ran on principles, and everyone online's chasing shiny. Every guru's got the latest shiny mechanism that's going to help get you out of your problems. And all we're doing all day is I spoke to one of my previous mentees, Arzam, who's absolutely crushing it. Young Muslim gentleman, helping Muslims build halal businesses and absolutely obliterating it at 21 years old because he applies principles. See, when we speak, we just talk principles, because if it's not this book today, it's that book tomorrow and this book next week and this thing here. It's all the same thing. There's only so many ways, to skin an animal. The methods that we're trying to learn today from these gurus were time tested through the entirety of the human civilization. That sounds a bit extreme, but I have something you want, you have something I want. I'm going to exchange either my time, my money, my chickens, my gold coins to have that off you. And I'm not even buying you. I mean, as much as I do buy you, Shri, if I was hiring you, it's beyond that. You are a product when you're a brand. You are Shri, but you're not Shri. I don't, as much, I look at it, we judge characters enough to go, can I trust them that they are who they say they are? Great. I don't really care what you've eaten on the weekend, unless you're my friend, then I do care. Like, how was your salad? Random strangers don't really give a monkeys. We're all in this online space together. And I think people just forget how to just be themselves a lot of the time. And then they're stuck because they don't know what to do. And there's this pit of like uncertainty of, what do I do? Because I'm just waiting for all these bigger people to tell me. And when you stop and you go, why am I stuck? What do I need to do? Why have I not done this so far? You start learning things. And if at that point you hit this point where you hit a wall, like you've gone and done the work, you've tried to do your first live, you've recorded it on a crappy phone, you couldn't edit it properly, you tried farming it out to someone on Upwork and it didn't work. At that point, if you go, I don't know, maybe it's time to go and find someone who can actually help. But if you haven't even taken intent and action on the first stuff, and then you go find someone, the problem that happens is you're literally giving someone money and your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your aspirations, hoping that they have an intention greater for you. Like they want the best for you. They do want good for you, but no one's going to work 18 hours, 20 hours a day. No one's going to work the weekends for you. No guru's going to call you up when you're feeling low. No guru's going to, hold you accountable to the highest level and really try and give you the best possible help you can. Mentors are fantastic things. Amazing things, but it's where you go to get them is where it really matters.
So where do you get them? I mean, I'm sitting here like, okay, I can't sell in every post. I shouldn't be giving my money away.
Yep.
But what should I be looking for? Like for me personally, when I look for a mentor, someone who's ahead of me. And if I'm trying to get more clear in my content, then I'm going to find that person. So for you, what helps you? Because maybe it might help somebody who's watching right now or watching the replay, which by the way, we thank you for joining in, whether you're live or the replay.
I can't, again, I don't want to act like I am this all-knowing being, as I'm really not. I mean, I'll tell you what I've done and take from it what you will. When I left school, The first thing I did was I knocked on every single door of the village that I lived in to sell gardening services. From there, I started creating friendships with people that liked my attitude. From there, I spoke to those people. And then I went to a business networking event and I met some business people that I liked and resonated with, that I thought were cool to hang about with. I didn't judge the fact that they were 40 or 50 and I was 17 and baby faced. I'm here to go and build a business. Just because you're older than me don't mean bugger all. Like, not my problem. I'm out here to go do something. So I just started meeting people naturally. But it was the environment that I was in. So if I sit at this desk all day, I'm surrounded by these four walls and I'm surrounded with whatever Instagram puts in front of me. Markers, ads, distraction. A lot of the time, inauthentic messaging to get you to buy something so they can, keep paying for their Lamborghini. But there's a lot of good people out there. Don't get me wrong. The info guru space isn't bad, but I think it's just being selective. And for me, it was understanding what environment are the people in that I'm first speaking to. Because your environment shapes your perspective, your belief systems, and your actions and how you operate around it. When I speak to my mentors that are 60, 70, 80 years old and I talk to them about Instagram and that, they love the idea, but they don't have a bloody clue. I have to help them put emails together and stuff, bless them. But what they know is principles. That's all I look to learn. That's all I've ever learned. From the age of 17, as weird as this is, I've spent most of my time with 50-year-old bloody men. Because they've all lived life. They've had kids, they've had marriages, they've had businesses, they're self-made people. The 60, the 70 or 8-year-olds. Now, when you go through life, see, life is, although it's a linear time frame, you're going to get old or you're going to die at some point. You're going to typically experience a lot of things. You're going to have your heartbreak. You're going to have your first relationship. You're going to have a car accident. You're going to buy your first car. You're going to maybe get in debt. You're maybe going to have all these things. Now, when you experience those stuff, that gives you new perspective, and how someone reacts to it is then how I learn from people. So I listen to my friend that's gone through a divorce and I'm thinking, he didn't do the stereotypical thing where he broke down. How did he operate? How did he think under times of pressure? I watch it happen. I look at the guy that built a £50 million a year company. Who do you have to be to do that? I learned boundaries from him. I learned proper, effective communication from him in the formal sense. I paid no money for this because I also gave something to him. To have a mentor shouldn't always be, and it shouldn't be, this hierarchical thing that one person is this greater being in all aspects of life, because I tell you what, guys and girls, they're really not. They've all got demons. I've worked with some of the biggest people and they've got crippling imposter syndrome and struggle to put out videos sometimes. We think that they're untouchable because they have hundreds of thousands of views. We think that they mean more because they have validation. Take their Instagram account away, what have you got? A lost, confused person waiting for Russell Brunson to tell them the next play. Or Myron Golden. Or someone such as that. I think, for me, it was just going in the right environment. Go out and go to business networking events, meet the people, shake their hands, see their character, see who they really are. Because you can't lie about who you are in person for too long. The veil gets pulled away and people see you for who you are. That's how I then build and have mentors. And it's equal, though, because I give them something. I give them youthful energy. I give them new perspective. I challenge them on their beliefs, because it should really be an equal opposite thing. I'm not great in all areas. And I can't ever be. So I want to learn from someone else, because I listened to something years ago, which was like, if you are only going to grow based on the mistakes that you make, it's going to take too long. Learn from others, remove your ego and just watch, observe, see what other people do. How did they react? And that's how I've learned. So go to the right environment, walk into the country club, walk into the business networking event, go and shake a hand, go and meet someone. Let things happen naturally. And beyond all of it, trust yourself first, that you're backing yourself. Because if you don't back yourself 100%, then you'll stumble over every hurdle, and you'll constantly be looking for someone to pick you back up. Where in fact, in this big world we live in, the only guarantee we've got is we're with us till our final day. No one's going to be there for us in our darkest times but us, because everyone's going to look out for themselves. It's not a selfish thing. It's just life. Sorry, rambling, but yeah.
No, this is good stuff. I mean, we hear so many things online. We're just here to share just a thought to put in your mind when you decide to work with someone. Be in their emails, go to their webinars, check out their live shows, check out their content. And I always like the people who are real, that talk about, hey, I struggled. I was dead broke, but this is how we got through it.
Yeah.
I struggled because I was too busy looking at my own world. I wasn't thinking about my team's world. I like those people more because I can respect it. And you know what? I totally get when you can't record that video because you have a negative bank account and you're trying to figure out, how can I give money to buy food for my child? Like, those are real things. Like, they are not the reasons why you don't show up on camera. Meaning, like, it's not just, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way
Yeah.
I sound. It's the failure you see in front of you. And that only took me to go through that to understand why somebody doesn't want to show up. And when I started putting out that content, that's the type of person that started to come and say, you know what, you talk about real stuff. So don't be afraid of your story or your journey. If you're working with a mentor,
Mm.
you're hiring a consultant too, who are they? And is it really, are they really going to be there behind you when things hit the fan? So, what we're
Yeah.
going to do is we're going to continue this conversation on Instagram, and we're asking you to come and
Oh, cool.
join us. So make sure, if you're here, follow both myself and Ryan. You can follow on Facebook and Instagram. But if you are catching this on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, make sure to follow me there. But we're going to stop here to go to Instagram. We just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for
Thank
all
you.
that you shared. And so until the next time, bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. See you later.